guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aluk Makuch, aka Aluk Fit Mom. You guys, so it has been a minute since the last time we spoke about money. Actually no, we speak about money on this channel of like quite a bit, but we haven't touched base on my series that I had going on, like Journey to Owning Your First Home. At this one, I'm even thinking about like changing the name from that to something else that's more like relatable, because I'm trying to change it into like Journey to Owning Your First Home as a single parent mother, or I don't know, we'll think of the name soon, you know. So far we did a few videos on there in terms of in regards to like the book that I read, the book that helped me save money, Barefoot Investor. Check it out. I'm gonna leave the link up here or down here just for you guys to have a look at that video. And I did a part 1 and a part 2 of more like a story time about me talking about how I got to like saving for my deposit and whatnot, you know. So y'all know that I'm new. Okay, I've been here for a year now, but it gets a bit difficult. So I'm doing my best to try and like keep everything structured, you know, trying to follow like at least like a script or like a guideline, you know, so the video can flow properly instead of always sounding like a story time. So in this video today, we're gonna be talking about I have notes. We'll be talking about being broke after buying your first home, like after buying your first house. Like, I feel like nobody really talks about the money situation after you bought a house, you know, and especially being single, if you bought the house by yourself, like it's hard. So we're gonna talk about that, and like on top of that, we'll talk about not having any money in your savings, like paying for your mortgage, working overtime, not seeing your kids, your family, your loved ones, furnishing the house, which is like a really big key in this whole situation. On top of that, I was also setting up my studio, and then like investing in yourself in terms of like buying more things for your studio, makeup, outfits, you know, trying to continue your you know, trying to continue on with the things that you love on top of like saving and all of that, you know. And finally like getting back to savings, like getting the ball back into your court, if that makes sense, you know. So when we say being broke after buying your first home, like it's in the name. It is in the name already, because what I did not know was how broke I was going to be after I bought my house. I didn't know that. I did not know that, and I was not, like, the thing about not knowing something is like you don't mentally prepare for it, you know. And I was not mentally prepared to not have the money. Hints to like my sister and I were having a conversation just today, and she just reminded me that was one of the main causes of my depression. You know, when I was depressed, when I'm not financially stable, that's a huge problem for me. So coming from kind of like having it all in a way to feeling like you don't have nothing, you know, that was a big deal. So that was honestly one of the main reasons why I was so depressed, because I had no money, and I hate not having money, because I'm not the type to rely on nobody, you know. So if you're buying a house right now, or if you're in the process of buying a house, just be ready for that, because if your deposit just covers the house, just know that after that settlement date, you might have $0 left in your savings account, you know. So be ready to work for everyday living. Be ready to work to survive, you know. You get into that survival mode. Like, I had nothing left, like from having like over 60k in your savings to that all going into your deposit and having nothing left, because you know they talk about, oh, just 5% that you get to pay for the house. So my house was like 525k, so 5% deposit would be like what, $26,000. So I thought that was all I had to pay, but no honey, that wasn't it. We had to pay another 40K on top of that shit, bro. And it was crazy. Like, but don't worry about it. We are gonna go into this in the series, you know, like there's a video that's gonna come up soon talking about all of that, so don't worry about that, you know. So after buying a house, another thing that was an issue was paying for the house. Now we have a mortgage that we need to be paying. It's like, what the heck? And after the settlement date, so let's just say when we settled for this house was on the 22nd of November 2020. The next like bill, the mortgage is due like a month after that. So the next due date was the 22nd of January. Now I was just like, what the heck? Why so soon? I just moved in and now I'm paying for it already. So that was crazy. And what made it even worse was like I used to have like Centrelink income, but since I was working a lot, I no longer receive Centrelink, and my kids, I remember they only give from Centrelink like $400 a fortnight, which is nothing. So I knew at this time I had to work. Like I have to work to make ends meet. I have to work to make sure my mortgage is paid for. And that brings us to the next topic, working overtime and not seeing kids or family. Like I already work in a very, very busy department, industry, whatever. I already do very long hours, you know, which is already enough. Like it's like it's shift work, so like it's a 7-day fortnight, you know. But so one week I do 5 days, the other week I do 2 days. But on the week that I do 5, I add an extra day and I would do 6 days. And then on the week that I only do 2, I might add another 2 days, I do 4. So I was working like a machine because I needed to work, because I had a lot of debt that I need to pay for. I had no money in my savings. That gave me a lot of depression and anxiety, and I was just like, what the heck, like this is not my life. I did not sign up for this, you know. And this that results in me really not spending a lot of time with my family, with my kids, you know. And I was really starting to miss them. Like I was at a point where I lived at work. Like I would blink and I'm back at work. That's how crazy it was, you know. And I did not think that I was gonna work like that. I didn't think I was gonna be doing so much overtime after buying a house. I thought after buying a home now, you know, me and my kids can actually enjoy. But to be honest, guys, we are about to reach our first, my first year in my house with my family, and like it's gonna be 1 year at the end of November. And I only just started like enjoying the house towards the end, you know, like around the 9 months mark. But even so, like I'm hardly at home. The only time that I feel like now that I've really been home is now that I have to quarantine for 14 days. This is the longest that I've ever done in my house, which is very, very sad, you know, because I'm supposed to enjoy this beautiful home that I live in, but I feel like I can't do that yet because yes, it is a home, it's a roof over my head and my kid's head, but I felt like I didn't feel it. Like there's so much that goes into a house, you know. Sometimes it's just more than the roof over your head, and I should be really grateful for what I have, but it was still difficult, you know. And I was not seeing my family, my siblings, like it was just crazy. It was very, very crazy. And then on top of that, furnishing the house. I know we touched base in this when I did my furnished house tour updates. You guys know that finally we are making a step, you know, and finally things are starting to look a certain way, and we are getting there, like slowly. So there's really not much for me to say in that department, because y'all already know. You guys already know where we stand when it comes to furniture. But what I can add on to that is the fact that I had to work extra hard. Even though all the main stuff were paid for, we were just waiting for them to get delivered. I still had to do the overtime, do the time at work, you know, to pay everything, like to pay the little stuff off, you know, which include like if it wasn't for Afterpay, And I'm not even here trying to promote them, because if you're not financially good with money, don't get it. Don't even sign up for Afterpay, because you'll go broke. But I learned how to manage my Afterpay with time. Obviously, I used to be crazy about it, but if it wasn't for Afterpay, I swear to God, I feel like this house would not look the way it does right now, you know. So that's another tick. And then we were also doing a lot of studio setup. As you guys know, that I'm really committed and passionate about my channel, and I see a really great future ahead of me when it comes to this, you know. I'm not even gonna lie. So I was doing a lot of investing. And investment, I used to think investment was just like you investing in the next big thing. You know how they always do their little Bitcoins, they're investing on the next share and all these other stuff. But I learned that investing also includes buying a really nice camera that can give you guys this beautiful clear view right now. You know, that was very costly. This camera cost me like $1,000, crazy. You know, investing for me meant buying lights, the right lights that I can use to produce this image right now, you know. Investing meant buying the right lenses that we can use to, you know, produce it. And those cost me so much. Every fortnight I was crying, you know. I don't know what the heck. And even though I was buying all this stuff, I wasn't even recording just yet because I had no clothes to wear. I had nothing to wear. I wasn't just gonna come here looking like a hobo for, like, you know. I was like, nah. So you have to win some, lose some. You give a little, you take a little. No, I don't know what I'm trying to. No, I know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, I couldn't have it all. Yeah, I could not have my cake and eat it too. Not at the time. Now I can, but everything is all about budgeting, about taking time, about working towards it. Like, if you really are passionate about something and you know that that thing gives you joy, happiness, you love it with all your heart, all your might, you know, you will do what you can to make sure. So I had a greater vision ahead of me. I could see where I wanted to be. I could see exactly where I wanted to be. Right now I know exactly where I want to be, you know, and I know how it's gonna, like, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get there, but I know the steps that I need to take to get there. And consistency and working and being patient and loving God is key. Okay? And that was all the things that I had to invest in. And then on top of that, when we're slowly getting back on our feet, we were slowly getting our power back. Not we. Well, let me just rephrase this. When I was slowly getting back on my feet, when I was slowly getting all my power back, when I was slowly, after dealing with all my mental breakdown, all my depression, you know, everything for me is money, bro. I'm just money driven, which it's not bad. It's not bad, because I have a great vision for myself. I just sounded like a robot. But like, I'm willing to do whatever necessary, whatever it takes to make sure that my kids don't have to live the life that I lived. My siblings don't have to, even my mom, my dad, they can all just chill and relax here, because I'm willing to do what I need to do, and I'm gonna work right now. And I have a time frame. By the time that I'm 30, 3 years, that's it, you know. So after that, when we did everything that we needed to do, we sat down and we were just like, you know what, being broke after buying a house might have come as a surprise, but at least now we know. So now that we know, what do we do now? You know, what happens now? So now we're trying to save. Now we are trying to save, you know. We are trying to at least have some money in our savings account. Something that you can use on that rainy day, or when an emergency comes, or just any little money that we can have, you know. And I'm not gonna lie with you guys, there was a point I was going through, there was like a whole 8 months when my savings account had $0. And when I do that video on savings, I'm actually gonna even put it up here so you guys can actually see. Like, I'm not even here to bullshit you guys. I'm being legit. I had $0 in my savings account, and it was very, very, very frightening. I was like, damn, if it wasn't for God, I was just like, God, what if something happens right now? What would I even do? Nothing. Who would I even call? Like, it's crazy. So I realized that you go through whatever you go through for a reason, and God wouldn't have put me through that if He knew that I wouldn't have handled that storm. And I didn't. I nailed it. I killed it. Being a bit cocky there. Sorry. So now the main task is working on saving again. Making sure that you can pay the mortgage every month, pay the bills every now and then. Pay whatever you need to pay every now and then, but make sure that you still have money in your savings. And this brings us to what I really want to talk about right now. And it is that no matter how hard things may look for you right now, guys, there legit is a rainbow at the end of that. What's the saying? There's a rainbow at the end of that tunnel? No. There's a light at the end of that tunnel. I don't know what that rainbow one is. I want to know what that rainbow one is. But yeah, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just a matter of just keeping your head in the game, and just know that you will have a lot of challenges, a lot of disadvantages, a lot of downfall, a lot of relapse. There's so much to struggle, But especially if you're like a single parent mother, it's even harder. Especially, not even just that, like if you have one source of income, it's even more harder. So just be prepared. So if you're buying a house, I'm gonna repeat this again. And your mortgage, and your deposit is just for the deposit of for the house. Be prepared to be broke after buying that house. Be prepared. And if you don't want to be broke after buying that house, make sure you add a little bit more into the amount that you're saving every fortnight or every month, because, honey, life is tough out here. But yeah, you guys, so that is honestly like about it, because I really just wanted to come here and just remind you guys that I have not forgotten about the journey to owning your first home as a single parent mother. That's what I'm gonna call my series. Instead of just journey to buying your first home, I'm gonna add journey to buying your first home as a single parent mother, because it's very important. I have not forgotten about it. I've just been trying to figure out how to come back, and you guys know that I am not the type to come back here and pretend to be happy when I know that I'm not, or to be content when I know that I wasn't, so I had a lot of things that I need to deal with mentally. I'm sure you guys have seen everything. We don't need to touch on that, but we're back. We're good. We look good too. And have you guys seen my melanin lately? Have you guys Nah, it's beautiful. I love my blackness. It's just but yeah, so again, sorry, I got distracted. I'm just here to remind you guys that we are back and better, bigger and better as well. And hopefully soon, maybe before this month ends, we might have our next video on our series, But before then, be sure to click on that like, share, and subscribe button. Join my family, #AlukFitMom, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.